Oh my god!
Spartan, Spartan was my new friend.
Damn, huh?
Oh. I just missed huge. Oh my god. Wow, that was nice. What's going on, guys? This is Nappin here, and today I'm bringing you the best settings for Black Ops 6, as well as some of the best sniper settings to help you out for keyboard and mouse. So starting off here, we're going to be moving into just the start, keyboard and mouse settings. So for mouse sensitivity, this is sort of like preference. You're going to have to mess around with it. Me personally, I play on 1600 DPI, and I rock the sensitivity of 2.4, and I'm not going to touch any of the ADS multiplier sensitivity, and we're going to leave everything here on standard. Keybind wise, I don't usually touch anything on here. There's a few things I like to just like edit because I have two buttons on the side of my mouse. First one being melee. I like to set this to mouse 5, which is the top button of my mouse, and then from there, that's the only thing I change in the keybind section. Moving on to movement. Actually, one more keybind I forgot about actually. I like to slide with my mouse. I know a lot of people have preference of sliding with their keyboard specifically, but what I prefer to do is I prefer to slide specifically with the side of my mouse. So right here, we are just looking for change stance, slide dive, which is right here. I just set that to my bottom bind, which happens to be 4. Right there, and it's bound. So then we're gonna go over to movement assist on a tactical sprint assist. From here, sprint delay. A lot of people have been having issues with setting it to 0. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set this to 1 right here, just to make sure we don't have any kind of like weird delays. This just helps out with your movement just in general. From here, mantle assist off, crouch assist off, corner slice. I've been messing around with the corner slice, honestly. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but in some situations where like you're getting some people who are just like holding hard angles, it's kind of nice because they're not expecting like that quick little slice off of there. So I'm gonna leave it on for now. But the rest of the settings right here, I just leave as is. Moving over to combat, aim down sight behavior, I have that as hold. Interact behavior, I have that to hold right here. So with this, if you have this set to press, it'll instantly like pick up stuff. So if you interact with like holding like a weapon on the ground or anything in general, I like holding it just so I'm not accidentally picking up guns on the keyboard. Moving on here, I prioritize body shield just because you can get some funny clips doing it, but it's really your preference here. You can set that to whatever you want. But this is my preference personally. Moving down, equipment behavior, we keep that on hold, and we'll move into the combat advanced settings here. For this, everything I usually keep the same. Armor plate if you're playing Warzone, apply all is very useful. And yeah, everything here looks to be good. Tap to reload is good there, so same for there. Moving on, we are going to be going through our graphics settings real quick. So starting off, aspect ratio, I keep automatic, shows my graphics card, 3080 Ti right there. And my screen space, or my screen refresh rate will stay the same just because it's locked in that full screen borderless. Just allows me to move my mouse around to make it a little bit easier to help out when I'm streaming. Moving on, gamma display. I usually keep this on 2.2. 2.4 is usually for TVs or like very high-end like gaming monitors that have like a lot of like good like visions on there, like so you can see a lot of stuff. 2.2 is just typically better for gaming monitors, so that's what I keep it on. Gamma and brightness. This game's a little bit darker than most games, so I've been recently bumping it up to around 57 where I could not have it barely visible but actually see it. On from here, NVIDIA low latency. So this kind of is based on how your computer runs. So if your GPU or your graphics card is better than your CPU, what you want to do is run on plus boost just to give you that advantage. If your CPU is better than your graphics card, then you just want to run on just to give you that better boost for better frames in the game. Moving on here, eco mode, just have it on custom. VSync off, VSync menus off. Custom frame limit, I run 240 because I have a 240 hertz monitor, 120 for menu, 30 for out of focus frame limit. Moving on, menu render resolution, we go with native here. Off for those. Focus mode we don't use, and HDR is off. Moving over to quality here, we definitely don't want extreme, even though the game likes to, you know, make it so like it's gonna ruin our game. Yeah, we never want to run extreme. You do never need extreme. So graphic preset, we are just going to go with custom here, which will happen when we start changing some stuff. But right here, NVIDIA scaling, I'm gonna go with AMD FSR3. Even though I am on an Intel chip, AMD FSR3 actually works for everything, and I've heard it gives you some of the best frames possible. We're gonna keep that on balanced with the VRAM target scale of 80. Moving on here, texture resolution. You really don't need a lot of Call of Duty settings high, and it still looks just as good. So what I usually do here is texture resolution, I'm running normal, and texture filter right here, running normal as well. Moving on, depth of field off, detail quality low, particle quality very low, bullet impacts I keep on, effects off, shader quality, we can keep that on low. On-demand texture streaming optimized. You don't want that optimized, you want that minimal. And since you can't turn it off on this game, you just want to turn it down all the way to the lowest it could possibly go, just to make sure it's not on, because that will definitely cause some extra FPS, or cause you to lose some FPS right there that you really don't need to lose. Right here, local texture streaming quality, you want to make sure to keep this on normal. So this streaming quality would be like this is a very important setting here. As you can see, it uses a lot of the VRAM. So make sure to keep that on normal for good game quality. All this stuff down here, shadow and lighting and environment, is just a bunch of like useless settings they put in the game. Unless you're really into recording the campaign in like high quality, all this stuff is what's going to make you lose gunfights in Call of Duty. So what you're going to do is you're going to turn all of these off and to very low. So we're going off, low, environment, tessellation off, volumetric quality low, deferred physics low, weather grid volumes, like what do we need to, I'm not going to be looking at the weather, I'm not going to be staring around the map, no, off, water quality off. So this is what you should take a look like. I'm going to go right through, make sure you take a screenshot just to get these settings in. We're going to apply those, confirm. All right, moving over to the view tab, FOV, or field of view, or FOV preference. A lot of people rock 120, lets you see more things because the screen's spaced out a little bit more. I rock 105 though. It's more of a competitive setting where you have a little bit of an advantage for sniping personally, in my opinion. But you can bump it up if you want. Make sure you have a motion quality as off for the preset, so you do custom settings. ADS field of view affected, weapon field of view default. Third party doesn't matter, I don't play third party. These are important right here. Motion blur, always off. Weapon motion blur, always off. First person camera movement, always at least 50%, least 50%. And invert the flashbang, just so your screen goes black instead of white. And so you don't go blind every time you get flashed. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna apply those. Should automatically apply right there. Moving on from there, audio. I have a mix amp, so it really depends on what kind of setup you have for your volume. So what I like to do here is, just because of my mix amp, I get to customize a little more. So I'm gonna go 50. I turn music volume and cinematic music off, and I keep dialogue and effects at 100, just to be able to have those. Speaker game device, it's just default. Moving down here, audio mix. Treyarch mix is pretty good. I prefer actually headphone bass boost. Just allow you to hear a little bit more steps with that extra bass. And then the rest of these don't really touch. Voice chat, I don't touch as well. I just have push to talk on, and I have my push to talk key just set to Z, which I think may be default. And then we're gonna move over into interface. So for this, in interface telemetry, I usually like to keep FPS counter, server latency, packet loss and my GPU setting on. These pop up in the top left corner of your screen, so you're able to see these at all times. And then you can just view those like that. And then that's the only ones I like to turn on. And then these two always on, just keep those network and in-game alerts on. Readability right here. I usually keep these as normal, everything here. Color customization preference. I actually prefer having the enemy be pink. Just makes it a little bit easier for me to see name tags when they're sort of like in like weird corners or just in general. With this, you can just keep this as general, the squad member colors. Color filter 2 for me personally. I turn all this up to 100. I think it makes the game look great, and if you have like camos like dark matter or any of the specialty camos you have to unlock, it makes them really pop and look way better than the normal settings. So that's what I use right there. And then gameplay HUD. This is important. So right here, HUD presets, I use standard. A lot of people have been using magnified on here. Sort of like brings everything up, gives you a bigger mini map. But for me and sniping and try to hit clips, sometimes that gets in the way of the kill feed, so I just leave that off on standard. Moving on to visuals, mini map shape. Always want to go square. The circle's smaller than the square in the picture. You want to have the most knowledge you can on the map. Mini map rotation, make sure that's on. Radar off. If you have radar on, what it's going to look like is it's not going to show you where people are in the map design. It's just going to show you literally like a grayed out radar with dots and different proximity to you. So make sure you keep this off. Scale 100, and then the rest here I don't really touch. And then colors, we already went over that. So then moving on down here, I like to do a custom crosshair. We'll go right here, we have that on. Custom crosshair color, I like to go like a little teal. I'm used to playing like games like Valorant, so having like a different colored crosshair makes it a little bit easier just to have your sight on the people. So I go here, nice little teal, but you can choose whatever color you want. Saturation all the way up, and you can see it's saved right there. Just apply that, just to be able to view the crosshairs. And then right there, other than that, everything else I leave the same. One other important setting here with your graphics is once you enter in all of your graphic settings, in order to save your graphic settings so they don't reset each time or there isn't any mess ups, is you're going to come right here and you want to click this restart shaders preloading. So right here, when you restart the shaders preloading, what this is going to do is this is going to have you reset your game. So once you click that right here, we're going to restart, and then I'm going to click escape, spam escape to get out of the menu. And then you're going to load up the game and not touch anything. Just let the shaders do its thing. And then once that's live, all those settings will be in place. Definitely give them a shot and let me know how you think about them in the comments section.